first component of the self, which is the philosophical view of the self, or the philosophical self. In this topic, I learned that there are different perspectives within ourselves, and of course what humans truly makes what makes a human truly a human. And of course, I also learned, or I was able also learn to differentiate the views, the different views of the avocado and the artichoke, which is the avocado states that the person, or the human person has an inner core that it never changed by life experiences, while the artichoke view of self states that a human person is an onion that states that there is no inner core, and also personal attitude of the person, or the human person is emotions are like influenced by his or her life experiences, which is very contrary to the view of the artichoke. Yeah. And of course, I was also able to create my own philosophical timeline, or yes, and my own view of the self, and my reflection into this topic. And of course, so by that, after the synchronous meeting, I was able to create my own timeline of the self, and I applied what I've learned from the synchronous meeting into that making of that timeline. I mean, and of course, lastly would be I could say that I am a combination of both points of the philosophical view of the self, which is the avocado and the artichoke, which is I am in the avocado. I believe that I believe that I have the inner core, which is the soul. Yes, it's perceived in the religious view. It is perceived as the soul in the avocado view, of which is the seed, and the artichoke view naman that people or human beings are like our attitude and our emotions are really influenced by our life experiences, and sometimes we act, or I mean, like from that life experiences we've become better person, and that's it. So the second component of the self is the psychological view of the self, or the psychological self. In this topic, I was able to learn or acquired about Maslow's of hierarchy, and of course the needs of the humanistic perspective and personality, and also the three concepts of Carl Rogers, and the difference between the real self and the ideal self. Yeah. And of course, I was also able to take the congruence test, the congruence test assessment of this self, which is yes, but suddenly I didn't like. I badly got 36.6 only, which is really far from, I mean, it is really bad score, but yet it is really bad score, but I think it is after all I realized that ano naman talaga, diba, na like as what ma'am said, that don't be too harsh to yourself or your ideals, or something ganun, na parang like it is very far different from real self into ideal self, na like my ideal self is really, yeah, but ganun naman talaga siguro, diba, na like this is our real self, and we wanted and as far as I know, yes, in my own opinion, our ideal self is really far different from our own or real self, because as I know that present or the ideal self of everyone is that yung kung ano yung wala sila ngayon in real nila, kung ano yung wala sila, that would be like, for example, I'm a curly hair, so I want my ideal person, or ideal me is like to have a straight or a nice hair, a better hair than like this, or like to be taller, ganon, or to be more smarter, something ganon, or like that, diba? it is really different that um your your real self between your ideal self was really far different, diba? Like, kasi to think that ideal self is somehow na or something na wala sa real self mo, syempre. Ideal self nga, diba? So, I think there's no bad at all in my score. It's 36.6. Para sa akin lang. Yes. Component of the self, which is the cultural view of self or cultural self. In this topic also I was able to learn about the different cultures, no? And of course from sharing of ideas in the synchronous meaning, sharing of ideas from each sectors coming from different cultures. Yes. And of course I was also able to determine in what stage I am already in my cultural degree. And of course, okay, so for the fourth component of the self, we have here the physical self or the physical view of the self. In this topic, I was able to answer the body skills revised test, but suddenly there is a technical error, or what we say as technical problems for that test. Yes, I was also able to learn something in body image and the beauty and in aging, and I was also able to share my thoughts or insights into this, especially a lot of youth nowadays were really facing problem about in body image, yes, and beauty and such as this aging. Yes, because body image is like the ideal image or body image of everyone. Meron tayo sa babae at sa lalaki na like sila image of the lalaki yung parang really has a nice body na may with all the muscles in the abs and something ganon, which is really not good setting that na parang like all the parang the guys requires to have those body, pero hindi naman kasi talaga siya dapat. We should have that one. Of course, and nowadays a lot of people like they really haven't enough confidence, and first like they why is that they could say that they were not beautiful, they were not something like that, because they compare themselves to others. Where in fact we are unique individuals. We don't have to compare ourselves to anyone. So the real beauty is that when you learn to accept your imperfections, when you learn to love yourself and embrace or tell yourself that you're beautiful, you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else, because we are perfectly different and unique individuals. So you don't have to compare yourself anymore with others, and just say and claim it to yourself that you are beautiful, because you are even made with the image of God, and you are beautiful. Now for the fifth component of the self, we have here the sexual self. In this sexual self, I was able to share my knowledge into this, and of course acquired a lot of learnings, especially when we talked about gender issues. Yes, because it is really relevant. I was also able to share my answers into some situational questions that like related into some or how you will address correctly a person, especially knowing that, or I mean, if that person is really perfectly stranger and you don't know what gender he has or she has, so parang you have to be very careful into addressing the person. And of course, I was also able to acquired more knowledge needed into the SUJI bills or the SUJI cases, which is the sexual orientation, gender identity, and the expression of the person, because there are really this is a really complicated topic. So the SOGI bill, in this SOGI, which is SOGEI, this SO stands for the sexual orientation. This sexual orientation, it is your biological sex. It is referring to two biological sex, which is male and female. And of course, the gender identity, it refers to what preferred gender you are. Dito na nakabilong yung mga LGBT something and all. And of course, expression, it is somehow sa atin, like we like misunderstand the person, like he or she really straight, but they used to express like we used to call us gay or something, lesbian, kasi meron din talaga mga lalaki yung straight talaga sila na lalaki, but they used to express using makeups, using like nagwe-wear sila ng mga pambabae na attire na magayon, is interpret sila ng tao which is hindi tama, kasi this their freedom of expression, that's how they express themselves, na parang they're straight but they love to something to wear these things. No, it doesn't matter, diba? And of course, I've learned all mindful communication, yes, to LGBTQ community, especially when you're talking to, like as I mentioned earlier, perfectly stranger na hindi mo alam how to address, just use a parang gender neutral, yes, just use it to in order for you to have a mindful communication with perfect strangers. Okay, so the last component of the self is the digital self, and this topic impacts the digital technology and our social life or well-beings. And of course, I was also able to learn the pros and cons of this digital technology to ourself, or to our life, I mean. Yes, especially when I watched the video, it's really alarming, and it's really parang that video is parang raises a certain awareness to everyone that what really is happening nowadays in our tech world, that this technology is really destroying the life of everybody. Like it shows in the movie that we've watched entitled the social dilemma, which is, you can view it in the Netflix, but if you don't have the Netflix account, I can share you the link so that you can watch it free. And of course, I just can say na yung video kasi na yun really raising a certain awareness na parang we should learn from that video na parang we have to live our life. Sometimes we have to live our life away from these gadgets, away from this technology, kasi it really destroying our life. It really ruined our health. Yes, because behind this technologies, or like behind these platforms, are just really aiming money, wanted to earn money. They didn't care of our health and our life. So dapat aware tayo doon na like these people are just trying to manipulate and control us. Just like they are like gathering all the informations of each one of us in order for them to know how to attack us, how to persuade us, in order for us to like just have you noticed na parang every time, especially nowadays when our the classes are online, we have to every morning, we have to after wake up checking our phones if we have emails from our teachers, if we got new requirements, new assignments or projects, or some I know, diba? Every morning, like we have to check our phones talaga, we have to check our social media accounts, and we used to have our social or our phones, our gadgets every day because of that online class, and we're facing this screen like 3 to 4 hours a day or something. It is really bad for our health, something good. And I really like the awareness or the video that is really raising awareness and alarmed to people, no, na parang pinapakita talaga nila yung possible or like yung kung ano yung totoong nangyayari talaga dito sa sa tech world, no? Whereas we are in this new generation or is really into this social media, into this digital platforms and such. I would really say thank you so much to Ma'am Eileen for giving us all of this, and of course for for the samahan, for all the samahan for the 7 sessions, no, sa loob ng synchronous meetings ng Zoom and such. Thank you so much, and for all the learnings that I got into this subject. And once again, this is Justin Paul Chu Pangasinan, a BS student of Ateneo de Zamboanga University, saying thank you so much for watching and signing off.